Good morning, everyone. It's 5 days before my bottom surgery, and I wanted to start doing at least a test vlog. I'm not sure if I'll end up putting this up or not, but my plan is to do a vlog and actually document everything with my bottom surgery so that some other poor trans girl out there has some idea what she's walking into. This is definitely my most flattering angle. I've chosen a great idea here. So, at 7 days out from bottom surgery, they had me stop taking all of my vitamin supplements, my allergy meds, that's a fun one, and every NSAID except Tylenol. So the lack of allergy meds explains my voice. Today, 5 days out, I have to start taking a bunch of laxatives. So they have me taking Miralax 3 times a day, which is 3 times the recommended amount, and Senna 1 pill 3 times a day. So I'm just gonna take those together. I fully anticipate basically living in my bathroom for the next 5 days, which is why I took off from work, because I really didn't want to take a meeting in my bathroom. The other thing I have going on right now, and this is going to be unique to my experience, is I seem to have contracted poison ivy last week. And the way that poison ivy always progresses for me is that it always turns into hives. And it sucks, because I'll have like a little spot on my leg, like this big, of poison ivy. It'll be nothing. It'll be like, an average person would just be like, oh, darn. And then like a week later, they'd be fine. But for me, a week later, I suddenly have hives over my entire leg and also my other leg. Like it jumps, you know? And I'm pretty reasonably confident that I'm not getting re-exposed because I haven't left my house in like 8 days. And that's, I don't know how I could possibly be re-exposed in my house, especially since like once I noticed I got poison ivy, I washed everything in my house because I take this stuff very seriously. So I'm what's called a hypersensitive to poison ivy. And that means that I could legit die from this. Not like this, but if someone was like clearing poison ivy by burning it, I could have a real problem on my hands. I never even saw it. Like I walk through, there's a park between me and a beach, and I walk through there all the time. And there's this giant puddle that often shows up. And I think what happened is I was getting around the puddle by walking along the sides, and one of those plants on the side must have been poison ivy. But again, I never saw it, and I'm like hyper vigilant of it. If I have to delay my surgery because of a damn plant, I'm gonna be really pissed. But I keep repeating to myself that it's more important to do this right than to do it quickly. You know, that's why I've waited 31 months to do this. I'm just mad. I'm really upset. I'm very anxious. I messaged my surgeon yesterday at like 9:30 in the morning. Be like, hey, is this potentially a risk of delaying my surgery? Because I needed to know, you know? They read it. And now it's 8 o'clock the next morning, and I've got nothing. Usually I end up getting prescribed oral steroids to deal with this. And I have no idea how that will impact my surgery, my anesthesia, my being on oxy after like the actual trauma of surgery, like needing to heal and everything. Like if my body doesn't have the energy to like fight off a hystemic reaction at the same time. So I need some medical advice, and I've got nothing from my surgeon. So the plan was to go to an urgent care last night and obviously tell the doctor, hey, by the way, I'm having surgery in, at the time, 6 days, and be like, hey, can you do something that's going to be very unlikely to interfere with that? But I decided not to do that for a few reasons. One of the main ones was that I was so anxious that I did not trust myself to drive and no one else was available to take me. What I ultimately decided to do is this morning I'm going to see a virtual urgent care through the same hospital network as my surgeon. I figure if anyone could check my chart and talk to my surgeon, it would be someone within the same hospital network, and maybe they know something that could help. It's just really scary because I waited so long for this, and any delay is going to be horrific for me in terms of my mental health. But, the point is I need to survive this. I need to do it right. With a minimum amount of pain, preferably. So I have that appointment in 2 hours. Right now I need to get up and take my laxatives. And I'm like, oh, please let it take longer than 2 hours, because I don't want to be in that appointment and be like, oh, by the way, I have to go to the bathroom right now. And I really hope that I don't have to delay my surgery, because I'm going to start taking these laxatives and then have them be like, oh, never mind, we'll see you in 3 months. And I'll be like, and that would be such a pain beyond the emotional level, because I would have to reshuffle all of my work time off. I would have to reshuffle my girlfriend's time off. I would have to reshuffle my roommate's time off. It would be a lot. It's doable. It's just a pain because, of course, I set everything up with the right timing and I wasn't counting on my body overreacting to a plant. And it sucks having an allergy to a plant that's super common. A severe allergy too, and nobody ever takes it seriously. It's yeah, everybody gets poison ivy. I'm like, no, first of all, not everyone does. Second of all, not everyone has this experience with poison ivy. When I get poison ivy, it is serious. I'm just so mad. It's really bad timing. The other reason I decided not to go to the urgent care last night is that my girlfriend was unavailable to accompany me. And through no fault of her own. Her brother-in-law tested positive for COVID. And she had been in close contact with him over several days prior. And I was like, yeah, no, we have to cancel our weekend plans. At minimum, we need to get tested. And she's negative. We're good. We're both vaccine boosted. So, I'm not worried about, getting seriously sick, knock on some wood. But I am concerned about the fact that I have a PCR test on Monday, right before my surgery, if my surgery is still happening. And, obviously my surgery will get delayed if I have COVID, even if I'm asymptomatic. The other thing I thought about with COVID is that, if I happen to get especially symptomatic, while I'm in the hospital, I really can't think of a better place to be than already in the hospital with COVID. That being said, I would really like to avoid it. It doesn't seem like a fun time, especially while recovering from surgery. My ex-girlfriend / roommate, who is going to be my primary care through this, is just getting back from Europe today. And they had to test her before she could come back into the country. So I'm feeling pretty confident that I'm safe around her, more or less. It's just COVID is all around me. I've got my body on strike. There's a revolt happening. I've got a lot going on. It's feeling like everything is conspiring against me. I've done a lot of planning. I've done a lot of organizing. I've gotten my stuff together in my life. I did a bunch of meal prep. So I'm good on food. I don't have to have my roommate and girlfriend cook for me unless they choose to, because I'll be stuck in bed most of the time. Especially since my bedroom and the bathroom are on an upper floor of the house. And there's this intervening staircase, which those of you who follow my Instagram will know has tried to kill me multiple times. I've fallen down those stairs before. I got runners, so they're much less likely to slip and fall. But the point is, I've fallen down those stairs before, and I really don't want to do it again because I can imagine it being really bad. Especially I landed on my butt the whole way down, and that's very close to the affected area of this surgery. Honestly, the thing freaking me out the most, besides am I actually going to have surgery or not, is the fact that I'm going to walk out of this surgery with a different shaped belly button. And I know that's really weird when I'm talking about having completely different genitals, but for some reason, the idea that my belly button is going to change as part of this is freaking me the heck out. Like, it's been with me my whole life. And I know, again, that sounds really weird. But like, I expected my genitals to change. I need my genitals to change. I don't expect or need my belly button to change. And this is specific to the kind of surgery I'm getting. I'm getting peritoneal pull-through. So they make a flap out of your peritoneum, which means they have to like come in from higher up and drag that down. And they meet in the middle with penile inversion. So like it's kind of a multi-part surgery. And there's a robot involved. It's pretty fancy. For people who like numbers, my estimate for the non-insurance cost of everything is $175,000, which is a lot. My insurance required me to pay my max out of pocket plus tax. So that worked out to be roughly like $3,300 basically, which is a lot. And in true American fashion, I've put my medical expenses on a credit card. But that's a lot. That is prohibitively expensive for a lot of people. And that doesn't count any of the hair removal I've had to have done, because I got 6 sessions of laser and I think it was 5 electrolysis sessions total. All of which are very expensive and are supposed to be covered by insurance, but I haven't received a penny from those people, and I don't expect to. I'm going to fight them to the best of my ability during my recovery, but I don't expect to get anywhere. On the subject of recovery, I'll be out of work for 8 weeks, and then the actual full recovery will take a full year. And that's a lot. That's a lot of time. Y'all cis people don't really have any idea how good they got it. Or people who don't need bottom surgery, because honestly, I would love to not need this. But I do. So, my next task is to get up, make breakfast, and take some laxatives. And this is how my day is going to go. It's a crappy day. Okay, I have taken both of my laxatives. I have taken some Tylenol because my head hurts because I can't take my allergy meds. I am now set up for my appointment to go over my poison ivy and see if I'm having surgery on Thursday or not, and what that's gonna be like. It's a little scary. I kind of want to show what I'm dealing with here so that you understand. So I'm gonna pan down to my leg, and we're gonna get through this. So yeah, that is pretty bad. My floor is a wreck. Ignore it. Yeah, that's pretty bad. And it's already spread to this leg. So it's not good. It's not good at all, fam. I need to do something about this, and it keeps spreading and it keeps getting worse and it keeps getting angrier, and I don't know what to do about it. So we're going to see the doctor and see what they say and go from there. There's nothing else I can do. You know, at this point, the way I see it, I'm stuck with this sequence of events no matter what. And I'd rather know what I'm up against. Like, if I have to delay my surgery, fine. It's not fine. I'll be a wreck, but at least I'll do it in a healthy way, and that's more important. So I guess we'll find out. So I just got out of my virtual urgent care with my hospital network, NYU. And during the appointment is when my surgeon decided to reply to me from yesterday, which is just again, all of this is just such great timing. Anyway, basically what they want me to do is the urgent care guy wants me to take both oral and topical steroids to treat the poison ivy. But my surgeon, in the middle of him prescribing that, said I would avoid oral steroids. So the plan is, and I went over that with him, the urgent care guy, that I'm going to pick up both from the pharmacy and only use the topical leading into surgery. That way I'll have it in hand if it's still a problem and I can really hit this hard with the oral steroids. Yeah, I'm hoping that will be enough. At minimum, it's better than nothing, and that is progress, and I'll take it, and my surgery is not being delayed. So that's fantastic. I need to allow myself to, I literally just got out of the call. I need to process that. My surgery is not getting delayed. Thank God. Okay, I have some friends I need to update because obviously my girlfriend and my friends have been very worried about me with this because anything that can get in the way of me getting this surgery is just a horrific idea to everyone involved because they know what the pain I'm going through is like. My stomach so far is behaving, but I can tell that I'm a ticking time bomb. I'm gonna be on that toilet at some point today. More than I usually am. So I'm gonna go chill, relax, try to settle my anxiety down. And then when my prescriptions are ready for pickup, I'll go get them and I will treat myself. That'll be good. I've returned from my drug dealer, also known as Walgreens, with all of the meds I need to kill this, hopefully. I already put it on and everything. I have to do this twice a day. Where the topical stuff, the oral stuff I'm not allowed to take because my surgeon told me not to. But it's good to have that in hand so that when I get back, I can deal with it, or in the hospital, or who knows what I'm going to end up doing, honestly. The strange thing is that my pharmacist called me and was like, hey, it says here that you're allergic to this prednisone. And I'm like, I've taken prednisone like a few times. I don't know why it would say that. And she's like, yeah, okay, sure, good luck. But that's done. My roommate has just left to go pick up my ex from the airport. I'm like stupidly scared of increasing my risk of exposure to COVID. Because I mean, she was in another country, several other countries for the past month. But I'm trying to remember that everyone in the house is vaxxed and boosted. And she had to get tested before they'd let her back in the country. So I'm trying to trust that. Still scary. Still a little bit scary. But I have my own PCR test in 2 days. So I should know what I'm up against by then. I've had some time to process the fact that my surgery is actually still happening on Thursday, which is in 5 days. That's, it's not a lot of days. You know, I've had this equipment my entire life, and it's a little scary because it's that unknown, you know? Obviously, I believe that I'm doing what's best for me, but I can't really know that, you know? All I have to go on is all the other people I've met in my life who have been through this and feel exactly the same way I do now, and then feel so much better after. So I'm trying to trust that. I'm trying to trust my own feelings about this. Trying to trust my body to behave. Trying to trust the people that are going to be managing my care, including here at the house. It's just, it's a lot. It's really scary. And I keep making the mistake of like trying to brace myself, you know? I'm sitting here like, if I just prepare, I can avoid all this pain. And it's like, no amount of preparation is going to make that any easier. I framed it to my therapist as it's going to require me to trust my ability to cope with situations more than my ability to prepare for them. And that's really hard. Obviously, I know I'll survive this. Obviously, I'll know I'll be happier by the end of it, but that does not make it any more pleasant to go through. I've been doing a lot of anxious pacing through my house. I've been basically useless at work for the past week. It's just really distracting. And add that to the list of reasons why I'm glad I took off the first 3 days of next week. I have not felt the effects of the laxatives that I took this morning, which I'm trying to take as a good sign that it's not going to be like explosive. It's also really a good sign because I have to, on Monday, go to a lab connected to my hospital, which is like going to take me about an hour and a half to get to do a PCR test, like I said. And I was very concerned because I planned on taking the bus, and that could be a problem. If I suddenly have the urge to go to the bathroom, or I should say need to go to the bathroom on a bus. So the fact that I haven't exploded right now is a really good sign because it means I have a chance of getting there and back on Monday, I hope, maybe. A better test of that will probably be tomorrow because that'll be my second full day on it, so I'll have like everything from the day before. We will see. It's going to be interesting for sure. I just keep waiting for the explosion. Like, I'm taking 3 times the amount of recommended Miralax per my doctor's instructions, and nothing is happening. And I'm kind of curious when that's going to go down and what that's going to be like. I'm afraid I'm going to wake up at like 3 in the morning, or worse, not wake up. So anyway, my ex is back safely in the house. I watched Captain Marvel tonight. That's one of my comfort movies. And it's entirely because it came into my life at a very critical moment in my transition. And, you know, the whole like getting back up, only human, there, you know, my name is Carol, all of that stuff was super, super important to me for very obvious, very trans reasons. And yeah, I'm really glad that I was able to watch that before my surgery. Just, I need my comfort stuff, you know? I am just all over the place emotionally. A lot of pacing. I'm doing a lot of pacing. And I went over that with my therapist. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do for a coping skill when I can't pace incessantly? And I'm going to have to find something. I'm hoping this is it. So in about a half an hour, I have to put on more of the topical steroids to treat my hives from poison ivy. Then at midnight, I have to take my next dose of all those laxatives, which is just my favorite part of all of this, I'm sure. I also got some time to play some video games, which is going to be great for me. I'm so mad that the new Doctor Strange movie is coming out the day of my surgery because I'm going to have to like avoid all the spoilers, and I'm not going to be able to watch it for a while, which really sucks. Yeah, so I'm going to have to deal with that. Also, Splatoon 3 comes out on the 9th, and I will still be in the hospital, and it's getting delivered to my house. I always get a hard copy of games like that, and I'm going to have somebody bring it to the hospital for me. So I'm excited for that, but I'm also like, this isn't exactly how I plan to enjoy playing this game, you know? And it's just like making me very keenly aware of how much of an interruption to my life this all is. And I know that sounds inconsequential, but it matters. I don't know how to explain why it matters, but it's just like, really? I think it just builds up all that resentment of like, I shouldn't have to do this in the first place. Like, I should have been born in a body that was correct for me, you know? And yeah, so there's bitterness there, of course. Of course there's bitterness there. How could there not be, you know? So my plan for tonight is to edit this video and publish it and get it out the door and make sure everything in my tool chain actually works, because I haven't tried this yet. I normally use like an external camera and all this stuff, and I use a desktop for editing. But I bought myself an iPad, and I'm going to try to edit all on there with like iMovie and stuff and see if I'm satisfied with the results. I want to make sure everything works before I'm like stuck in a hospital doing this. Then, with the time I have to stay up until midnight, I'm going to keep playing video games, because that's what I do with my life. And it's not even like new games. I'm playing Skyward Sword, like replaying it. I played it on the Wii, technically on the Wii U, and like now I'm just replaying it again on my Switch. But that game is so much fun. And I love one of the parts of the game that most people hate, which is the part where there's like time crystals and stuff. I'm like, I love this. This is great. It's like the intersection of everything I love. It's sci-fi, it's Zelda, like, come on. I'm just ready to get on with this. And I have to wait. And I feel like all I'm doing right now is just killing time. You know, and like, that's not true. I have some actual maintenance stuff to do with my body. I have to make sure that these stupid hives don't get me postponed. I have to make sure that like, I'm taking care of my body and doing all the prep work I have to for surgery itself. I have to avoid catching COVID, which is surprisingly difficult. I didn't expect to be still having that problem this far out. But, you know, several people in my life have come down with it recently, and it's like, it's kind of feeling like the walls are closing in. It's all just bad timing, like I've been saying all day. I'm also doing a lot of staring off into the distance, you know, just sort of like zoning out. It's getting real close. It's getting really, really close. Okay, so I have finished my teeth brushing and normal nighttime skincare, as evidenced by my very red face. The only thing I have left to do today is take my laxatives and my progesterone, which I'm still allowed to take, thank God. The thing that I'm starting to feel already, and I didn't expect to feel this way so soon, is that I am very beholden to someone else's schedule for me. And I don't like that. And like, I'm normally up till midnight or later, but the point is I don't have the option of going to bed earlier unless I want to wake up in time to take my meds. And I have to be up at, you know, and taking them again by 8 in the morning. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And I wasn't expecting to feel that way so soon, you know, 5 days out from surgery. I think I just have a problem with authority. I think I just don't like being told what to do. And that's it for today. The next few days should be, or tomorrow at least, should be pretty boring. And I'm good with boring. Monday will be more of a challenge, more of an interesting day. Tuesday and Wednesday should be pretty boring. Gonna do some chores. Pack my bag and stuff. So yeah, this is the exciting vlog that everyone was waiting for. And thank you for joining me on this very long video about my very long journey that hasn't even started yet, and I'm already talking this much. Good night, everybody.